And when I came to know that in the meantime, two novelists of your country got the Booker's Prize, then
Yeah,
I got
the
more.
Shehan Karunatillaka, yes.
Yeah. And I became more interested to know about the literature of your country. And when I go through, especially your first story, which you sent me, Mona Lisa
Mona
in
Lisa.
Egypt, really, it is very much attractive, and it has magnetic power to grabs the attention of the reader. And one thing I should mention here is that when I start translating anything, it may be the literature, it may be the other things, fiction, non-fiction, then I translate it in my own way. First, I try to go into the depth of the story, or if it is non-fiction, then I try to understand the main theme. Then I just I just want to understand what is the main theme of the story or the non-fiction.
Yeah.
Then I take it inside me, and I just start translating in my own way. My
Mhm.
translation, you cannot say that, nobody can say that my translation is word-to-word translation or literary translation, because when the reader will read my translating,
Mhm.
then they can find myself. They can relate themselves with the story, because I am representing the story according to their, what I should say, understanding level. And I just want to match the story with my local, uh, what should I say, consequence or local style of the storytelling. This is the way I translating all the stories.
Yeah, basically, I have now a question about this. So you are a writer and also a poet, right? So,
Yeah,
did it help you in the translation? And uh, one of my friend who is who can read Bengali, he read your translation on my short story. He had read the English one too. So he told me that actually your translation is really good. It is having a very poetic language. You use the language in very poetic way. So, being a poet and a writer, uh, is it help you to capture these other writers, their aspect and
definitely,
yes,
because yes, because I think that if the translator don't be the writer or literature, then he cannot portray the actual theme of the other writer. Okay,
yeah,
because the presentation, the style of presentation of the writer only can be grasped by another writer. Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. We are editing it, so no worries.
Uh, if you are not used to use the literary device, and what I want to mean is that if you don't know how to use the literary device, like simile, metaphor, etc., then you cannot render it. You cannot translate it in the proper way. So,
Yeah.
if any poet or writer or literature translate another poet's poem or short story, novel, or etc., then he can present it very well and very readable to the readers. This is the way. I think this is the easiest way, and this is the very communicable way, who can communicate with the reader very sophisticatedly.
Yeah. And I'm really like to thank you that you have translated the three Sri Lankan writers into Bengali language. Can you tell us more about this book and when it is going to publish and any other news about this book, because Sri Lankan
Okay, okay,
listeners will would love to hear that from you.
okay. I think so far I know that this is the first translation of Sri Lankan literature in Bengali language.
Yes.
And when the stories were published in the newspaper, then I got some positive feedback from the readers, as well as from the editor of the newspaper. And then I became very much encouraged to publish it as a book form. One thing I should mention here is that I just translated 10 stories from you, then Asha and Mohan.
Yes.
But the main thing I should mention here that the 10 stories is 10 stories.
Yes.
Every story is different from another story.
Yeah.
And your presentation style is different from Asha. And Asha's presentation style is different from Mohan. That is very significant. That is very significant because if you read a book of 20 or 5 or 10 or 11 stories, and if you cannot find the 11 story from that book, then it will be very monotonous. But when the reader will read this book, they will never be monotonous because every story is different from another one.
Yeah, that's so. I'm looking forward to what readers will tell about this book. So I'm moving into that to your writing, Abu. That we have talk enough about this translation and that book.
I want to give some more information about the book. Is that my
Yeah.
publisher, he became very much interested, and
Uh-huh.
he said that it will be the history of Bengali literature that we are publishing first. We are publishing the first book of Sri Lankan literature because
Yeah.
you know that in our country there is no any publication from Sri Lankan literature or non-fiction. Maybe there is some non-fiction books, but
Yeah.
no fiction books.
Yeah.
Whether it is in English or Bengali. And
Yes.
this is the first book in Bangladesh will be published from the Sri Lankan literature and Sri Lankan literature. Our reader will be get the taste of the literature of Sri Lanka. That is the big achievement for us.
Yeah, that I'm honored really listening to that, and I know that Asha and Mohan both will be happy that listening to you that, and looking forward to the comments from the readers after the book is published. So moving into your writing, Abu now. First I want to.
Prior to that, I would like to say one thing that I want to translate more and more stories and novel of Sri Lankan
That's
writer because
that's so
it will
nice to
add
hear.
extra taste to a reader. Okay, our reader they get the translating book from India, from other countries,
Yeah.
and what is very significant I should mention here is that I didn't have any idea about the Sri Lankan literature,
Yes.
but reading your stories and Asha's stories and Mohan's stories, I just feel excitement. Oh, what kind of because we are neighboring countries, but
Yeah.
we didn't know each other, and your literary um, literature is so much rich, so much rich.
Yeah. Because you know that in here Sri Lanka we have so many books translated from the Bengali, from Tagore to so many uh, books. Even some Bangladesh writers also that there I remember that Monica Ali, who she was
Yeah, yeah,
shortlisted to
yeah.
the Booker Prize. That book also translated into Sinhala. So here we have idea about the what?
But I'm quite a bit of surprised why yet we didn't get any translation work of Sri Lankan literature
Yeah,
because
that I think that's
there are,
that's really unfortunate.
I'm seriously talking it. Seriously talking it that your literature quality, that is Sri Lanka's literature quality is very high in
Yeah.
comparison with in other countries.
Yeah, you know that in future, if you could translate one or two novel, because we have very good novels in Sri Lanka. You mean if you are interested, I would like to introduce you some of that novels. They are very excellent, and they can compete with any other literature over all the world. So there are so many like you having in Bangladesh. So hopefully that we break the shackles now, so that our writers can enter into the in the Bengali language
And
in future
I
too.
think I think after this book being published and reach to the grip of the reader, they will be more interested to read the literature
Yes.
of other Sri Lankan writers writing because this is the first time Bangladeshi writer will get the chance to read the Sri Lankan literature.
Yes. First time. Yeah.
And
That's
it will I can certainly say that it will open a new horizon for the Sri Lankan literature to Bangladesh.
so. One thing I have to ask you. So I remember there are some names very because these languages are very uh, relatively very related languages. So our names are mostly going same and same. So translating these names and places, how you felt that especially the names and the places, how you capture those things?
That is almost known to me because I searched Google and try to know the name of the town or the village of the Sri Lanka. But one thing I should say that I just translate it to from my own understanding. Like in Asha's short story, there is a rhyme about moon.
Yeah.
Moon. Okay, that means the baby girl. She's sitting under a tree, reciting the rhyme about moon. Then I just put the famous rhyme of our Bengali literature.
Yes.
I chat now, that is in Bengali literature. That so that writer can communicate that okay, it is my story. When the reader will read my translating story, they will feel that it is our story. It is written by a Bangladeshi writer.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
this is the point I should focus on.
Yeah, that makes me to ask another question, because when you are telling that, I remember that Peter Newmark's uh, book about translation. He was a professor for translation, and he mentioned that there are few methods of translation. That one of that is translating idiom to idiomatic. So I felt that when you are saying that you how you capture that poem with your poem, so I felt that this work actually. So my question is, uh, how you feel that you are thinking that when you are translating a story, so if you feel that you can make it more readable and more exciting story, as a translator
Definitely.
you
What I
go for
said
it,
earlier.
right?
Yeah, definitely. What I said earlier that first I read the story and I conceived the main theme of the story. Then I just then I make the story in my own way.
Yes.
The reader hardly can make it different that the story is the story is written from the Sri Lankan writer, because they can communicate that the story is written by our writer. Okay,
Yeah.
when your story, they'll read your story, then they can feel that it is written by Bangladeshi writer.
Yeah.
Okay, this
That's
is
better.
this is the way, because if you cannot communicate the reader with your writing, then that could not be, to my own concept, that could not be a best translation.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly correct. So that's enough.
Phrasal and what translation is not a translation at all. And that could not be translating literature.
As
Literature
a
is a different
translator,
thing.
I'm agree with you. I also don't go for the word to word translation, because the mostly the target language, it should be best level in the target language. I always think about it, as you are thinking the same way I'm thinking about it. So that's enough about this translation and all. I want to talk about that. You are poet. You are a poet, and this. So tell me, Abu, that how you write a poem. So if you are waiting for poem to come, or you are when you find a thing, you will write a poem, or how it works for you as a poet.
Okay. First, when any subject come to me, suppose the time of the coming of the theme is not limited. Suppose I'm walking on the road, then I saw a thing. Then saw a thing. Then a thing came to me, and I just started to cultivate about the theme, and then I just think and think and think on the particular subject. Then I just try to write in the poems form. And poem and poetry, it is to my concern, it is very technical way,
Yeah.
because you have to tell a story. You have to tell a story within a very limited way.
Yeah.
There is a very familiar saying in our country, is that it's just express the ocean within a
Hmm.
drop of water.
Yes.
So poetry is like that.
Hmm.
By a drop of water, I should express the emotion of the ocean.
Yeah. So being a very limited medium, my poem is a very limited medium. So it is a challenging that. Find out what you are going to say and what you are not going to say. How you tackle these challenges as a poet?
That is, I always think that every poet should have his own distinct way to express his thought and idea.
Yeah.
Okay, if I write like you, that could not be
Yeah.
that should not be poem of me, by
Yes.
me, because that is, if I talk in your voice,
Mm.
it is applicable to the singer. If any singer, you are a singer. If I sing like you, that means with your vocal tone, that could not be a specialist singer. He or
Yes.
she could not be a specialist singer. When I want to be established as a different singer, then I should sing in my own way, in my own tone, in my own style.
Mm.
Style is the very significant and important in the poetic form, because you have to create your own style. If you cannot create your own style, then I think you cannot be the successful poet.
Exactly. So when it comes to prose writing, have you managed these two things? It's because these two are very different mediums, prose writing and poem writing. So have you changed into these mediums very quickly? Because I know you are doing so many things. You have published 29 books and you have so many experience about this. thing. So how you changing this poem to prose
And
and prose to?
I'd like to give you an information is that basically I am established in our country as a researcher, and
Uh-huh.
I have so many research books, and some of the books are selected as a reference book of a university, different university,
Yes.
4 or 5 universities, and 6 of my books are selected as a reference book uh, in 6 different universities of our country. So this is the total different area. When you are a researcher, the
Yeah.
language of research work is totally different from the language of literature,
Literature.
because
Yes.
literary language cannot represent the research method.
Yeah.
Similarly, research language cannot portray the literary picture. That
Yes.
is, in this case, when I just follow one of our greatest poet, Michael Madhusudan Datta. I think he had the name of him. He is the pioneer poet of our Renaissance era,
Yes.
and he is the first, to my concern, he's the father of first modern poetry of Bangla literature.
Uh-huh.
And he, at a time, he can write 2, 3, or 5 uh, subjects. Like he's writing epic side by side. Another, he just dictate. You're epic. Okay, you just write this one. Then I'm writing drama. Okay, scene one, dialogue. Then you, I'm writing a novel. Then he uh, say him that this is the plot. But I just want to follow him. I just try to follow him. And if you be that is for this you have to go through a deep study, and I'm very much studious. I can say that I'm very studious, and I always engage, keep myself engaged in reading, and from that reading helps me a lot. When I go through your short story, then I can get some idea that this is the way, this is the best way I can express my idea. When I go through another poet's poem, then I can oh yes, I can put this technique to express the right word in right expression. So this is how I can cope myself with this different situation for different writing method.
Yeah. The one last question for the podcast that we have gone through the our time schedule. So our listeners would like to hear about this Dhaka Book Festival coming on next month, and very short brief about the contemporary Bangladesh writing in your angle. How you think about the writing in Bangladesh? In
Basically,
Yeah,
okay, but yeah, 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 yeah. Basically, we are very much blessed with some greatest literature and the poet like Rabindranath Tagore, Michael Madhusudan Dutt, then Sharachandra Chattopadhyay, and
yes,
later I can mention the name of Chattopadhyay from West Bengal, and in our country, Shamsur Rahman, poet, Shamsur Rahman Al Mahmud. Oh my God, Al Mahmud is outstanding poet, and Farooq Ahmed, and Jivanananda Das.
mm,
Jivanananda Das, I think you know the name of Jivanananda Das.
yeah,
Without his poetry, no modern literature can be think in Bangladesh.
mm,
And we are going up through reading of their writings, and now we are just passing through very turmoil, um, bad time. Basically, very bad time in every sphere, not only in the literature, in every sphere. If I say about politics, we are going through very bad practices.
even in here.
And if I say our social, social, if I want to talk about our social context, yes, we are going through very erosion, at the time of erosion. So this is the time of now we cannot actually go through the real literature. We some of the people who are writing try to write. I don't know, try to write, but basically, many of our writers are confined in a circular. They cannot break the they cannot break the that circular. But if I or if we want to give something best one, then we should break up the boundary of that circular. We are concentrated. We are just encircling within a circular. And I think you understand that what I want to mean you, because
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the very bad time we are passing in Bangladesh just now. You know that few days ago we celebrated election. We and different kinds of problem we are facing now in Bangladesh, and this is very bad time for those who are very much serious in their not only writing, in their position. Like if you are be honest in your position, then you cannot get just now you cannot get your due honor. You
Ah,
cannot get your due position. You cannot get your due what I can say, the dignity. Okay, this is the system we are going through. This is why quality literature and quality research as well are not being done at that moment, and we are suffering from very much. It is on kind of dark phase, I think, to me.
yeah, yeah. The same here.
Okay, Rashmika, I want to know, because this is the beginning. This is the beginning.
Yes.
I have been introduced to the Sri Lankan literature, but I want to know about the Sri Lankan literature in large scale. And if you give some idea, conception about it, Sri Lankan literary trait now, the present literary trait.
Yeah. Actually, that what I can say about yeah, we are passing through this same very delusional and very dark, gloomy time around us, especially in political and economic crisis in the country and all. But uh, last 2 3 years has been good for Sri Lankan literature because that few writers have been uh, honored in the international level. You
Okay.
know that you mentioned Shehan, but before that year, in 2022, there's one writer, Arut Pragasam. He was shortlisted for
Yeah.
the Booker Prize. And Khan Almeida, she won Commonwealth Short Story Prize in 2021 too. And Amanda Jayatissa, she has won the best new uh, thriller novel in USA. So basically, in Sri Lanka, there are three categories, actually three languages that our writers are writing
Mm.
in. In basically, Sinhala is the most, uh, I mean, wider one. Then Tamil, and then English. So we have three different language, but when it comes to Sinhala literature, it is more wide, but uh, there are same problem as you mentioned in the Bangladesh. You said that writers are writing, but uh, because I think it effect on us this situation and all, because this situation not allowed to comes out good literature, as you mentioned. So the basically mostly I felt the same thing around here, but eventually there are very good writers who could provide good literature. That's
But
that's what I can.
one difference I have seen between your literature and our literature. That is, we have also some quality literature, quality novelists, quality poets. But problem is that they totally have been politicized. That is the
Yeah,
problem. They cannot break the circle. That means
yeah,
your point. Okay, yeah,
when you go for
yeah,
that, that
yeah,
is a huge problem. Yes.
yeah. That is our problem. But what I have seen that your poet, your novelist, and your writers, they are a little bit of different from us because they are not they do not enter anybody's pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
But our but now our all we have quality poet, we have quality novelist, we have quality literature, but they are just pivoting within a circle. That is the
Yes.
main problem.
Yeah,
If
that's a
if you-
problem.
if you don't if you cannot break your boundary, then you cannot give any good output.
Yeah,
That is
I
the problem we
personally
are
believe
suffering.
that writer always should be in his own, not in others, because writer
Yes,
is
yes.
always must be on the people side. Actually, I believe he should write what he observe, but not cover up stories and for the even in the political ideology or even in the social ideology. I don't believe that writer should go for any ideology. They should write what they really observe. Then only we will have good literature, in my opinion.
But we are we are suffering this one too, because all the poets, all the novelists, all the writers, they are just entering in a particular pocket.
Yes,
That is
that's
the
so
problem.
sad.
This is the main reason we cannot we cannot create best literature. We cannot create write a best novel. We cannot write a best poem. That is the main problem.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem is that another thing, the problem is that if you don't enter into that pocket, then you cannot get any recognition from the state, from the society.
Yeah,
Okay, that is the problem.
that
That is the problem. You cannot go to go near to the readers because uh, there is a barrier. But I
yeah,
am very fortunate and I feel blessed that my this that we are suffering from acute inflation, recession, and economic depression.
yes,
Even then, I just want to say that our most number of our a certain number of people, basically middle class, they're suffering most. They cannot even buy bread and
yeah,
butter properly.
yes.
But if they cannot fulfill their basic need, then how they can purchase the book? But my publisher saying the manuscript of my translation, he
Yeah.
became very much excited and said that, okay, no problem. We are suffering from the acute reader crisis. That is not a problem at all. That will be the most important things from my publication house that we are publishing this book. And he chose the all the stories, not only your stories, not only
Yes, yes.
Asha's stories, not only Amon's stories, all the stories. And one thing he said me that so I just find out one thing is that every story and the style of every writer is different from another. That is mesmerized him.
That's good.